Skirt Magazine recently did an interview with the brand representative of modern Serenity, a luxury lingerie boutique and boudoir photo studio located in Fort Lauderdale. What follows is a frank discussion of her experience with the clientele she serves. We hope you enjoy the interview.
So we are Modern Serenity. We are a luxury lingerie collections boutique. We also have a boudoir that we lease out for photos. Our end-to-end product is 100% based on and committed to helping women on their pleasure journey. And this ranges from events that we hold talking about self-esteem, self-love, to classes on intro to pleasure, intro to masturbation, intro to sex toys, intro to partner play, to how we believe that it's beautiful underneath as well, so how lingerie plays a part in just helping a woman feel good about herself. It's a space that a lot of people ignore, but when you oftentimes feel good about who you are, what you look, and this is regardless of size, regardless of physical characteristics, but really focusing on wearing beautiful pieces and how that makes you feel. And this also pivots into why we opened up a boudoir studio, was to make sure that we had a place for women to see themselves. If you've ever done any type of boudoir photography or shoot, it's really focused 100% on a woman and feeling beautiful wherever she is in that moment. We do not support or subscribe to, oh, wait until I lose weight, or wait until this is gone, or I'm too old, or I'm too young, or this is, wherever you are in life. We want you to feel good about that moment and continue to move forward on really taking the time to discover who you are and how sensual you are. It forces women to stop and say, that's a good question. Where am I on my current journey? Where am I on my pleasure spectrum? What do I need? Because we focus so much on what other people need. Very rarely do we take the time to say, at my age, right now in life, what do I need? How have I evolved? So whether it's what are my pleasure needs? How has my body changed? If I've had kids, if I've gone through any type of medical challenges, if I'm in pre, during, or post menopause, how have my needs changed? Things don't look the same as they did when God knows they don't look the same as they did when I was in my 20s or 30s or 40s. I mean, the aging process is real, but it does not mean that I don't enjoy pleasure, and it doesn't mean that I am not a sexual being. It just means I need to understand where I am in that moment. As we have women coming in here, we see and hear them saying, I have never had this kind of discussion. We have held events and women are in tears because I've had women who have been married, women who are divorced, women who have never had either, who are saying, I'm not sure if I've ever had an orgasm. I'm not sure if I know pleasure, or I just lay there, or I have trouble with vaginal wetness and I don't have anyone to talk to and I just thought something was wrong with me. Or they're unfamiliar with toys, because toys have, for certain generations, a negative connotation. Or my partner doesn't like me to use toys, or I'm embarrassed to say I have a toy. All of these things is just to create a safe space to say, whatever you need to discuss, we are here to do that.
So who is walking through your doors? So age range, and then from there, if you could tell me a little bit about the difference between the ages and.
Absolutely. So this has been a great learning for us, because I think when we first started, we knew we would hit women just for price points over the age of 30. The average age of my clients are actually in their 50s.
Really?
Yes. And I think that surprised us as well.
The average
age.
Okay.
I have, and that's where it's beautiful to see, is the confidence of saying this is, because we have not only lingerie collections, we have wellness accessories, as well as a line of lubricants. We go into a little bit of play, and I would say my women in their 50s is two, and I'll go through the age ranges. It ranges from, I know exactly where I am and what I like. I want to push the envelope a little bit further, and I've never tried this. Let's try it. So we'll have someone who's like, I want to experiment with silk ties. How do we do some type of light bondage? I am in my 50s. I've been married. I have 4 kids, and I don't know if I've ever had an orgasm. And now that I'm in or post-menopause, I have extreme vaginal dryness. What do? I don't have a sex drive. I don't feel sexy. There's weight gain. And so those types of discussions. So that veers more to a self-love discussion. I have a few in their 60s that I would say they're my most fun. I would be honest, the level of comfort and confidence in who they are and what they like and what they want. And that population are women who realize and embrace aging, but they don't feel like they're obsolete.
Right.
And I love engaging and learning actually from them, because it keeps me motivated to keep this going, because they then share where they are on their journey. Some have been married to the same person for 40 years plus. Some are on 3rd and 4th marriages. Either way, I would say in that age range, all very confident. I realize I'm going backwards. In the 40s, I would say it's a different group. Most of them are moms or newly divorced, and they are looking to rediscover. So they're in a discovery moment, wherever they are in life. Most of them, some have some medical issues. Most of them have not approached menopause yet, and whether it be they have completed a fitness journey, they're in between this imbalance of motherhood and careers. They have embraced that they will never marry and have kids, but they still are in a rut because they may be caring for aging parents. Not everything is about kids, and not everything is about being in a relationship. Sometimes you just have other life factors that happen. And they're looking for that sensuality piece as well. And they've just lost it. They're like, I don't feel sexy. And oftentimes the women in that age range, whereas my 50s and 60s come in by design, like they intend to come in, they're often passing by or someone has recommended it.
Right.
And they're like, someone told me to come in and they said I need this.
Right.
Which I think is...
So they're not searching it
out.
out.
They're not searching it out. They're so caught up in life.
They don't even know.
They don't even know they're missing it.
Yeah.
And then in my 30s, the 30s range. So the 30s are kind of like my 50s. It's either I have experimented a lot, and I would say that's one of my most sexually open groups, my women in my 30s. I've done a little bit of everything, and I still like that variety, but I'm looking now, I have an income, I'm at a different price point, and I'd like to have lingerie that's not coming from Victoria's Secret or Target, or I really want to have some nicer pieces to feel sexy, or it's I blew through my 20s and this wasn't even on the radar, and as I get older and I embrace my womanhood a little bit more, I want to explore what this looks like. And this was surprising to me, just because of how I grew up, and I would say the people in my social circle, there are a number of women who have never ever owned any type of wellness toys, never owned a vibrator. They have no idea how to use them. I mean, the basics of what would be for me the old school pocket rocket. I may be dating myself there, but we used to call it a pocket rocket or the bullet, to a simple massager like the wand, which is very traditional, it's been around for decades. They've never heard of them or seen them. And their social circles as well, because women don't talk about it. So I get a lot of people in here also that are just looking to talk and to ask questions. And this will be, even though our focus is women, we also have men that come in who have performance anxiety. They're looking to know how to please their partner. They don't know. So we have we have a great mix.
The common thread through everything that you have said, from your own upbringing through this moment, is lack of communication. I mean,
it's everything.
Across the board, with parents, with peers, with your partner. I mean, it always comes back with yourself.
The self piece, and that's is where our business, we focus on self pleasure.
Yeah.
And understanding self pleasure in many shapes. It may be running a bath,
Mm-hmm.
taking the time to look at and love your body. So just to give you an example, one of the things we do when women come in is, let me know if I need to do things.
No.
One of the things we do when women come in and we do our private appointments is we put them in front of a mirror. And we ask them to stand in front of a mirror and tell yourself 2 things that you love about you. You have to call yourself by name. So, for example, Anne, I love your eyes. I just think your eyes are mesmerizing. I also love the sensuous bow in your lip. You're talking to yourself, and they're so, I would say 98% of the women cannot do it. They cannot look themselves in the eye and say anything positive about themselves while looking themselves in the eye. If I ask them without looking at themselves, they can. But when I say look at you in the mirror and tell yourself what you love about you, we immediately go to the negative flaws. We start crying. We have so many emotional responses because we don't take the time to appreciate who we are. We don't take the time to communicate with ourselves, to do positive affirmations, to really love who we are as women. And that's hard. It's a skill, and you have to practice it.
Yeah.
And every day, I don't wake up and I don't feel great every day.
Sure.
But it does not mean I don't love me and that I don't see the qualities I have. And for certain, I am committed to my own pleasure because I understand and know the power of it.
That's amazing. So let's talk about that. Let's talk more about that, about the experiences, the women you've seen, and the experiences in your time that stand out to you.
One-on-ones with women who are at a crossroads. What do I mean? Is that they have looked for, and this is regardless of sexual orientation, because I have the whole mix, which we love, is to say, I don't know what I want in life, whether it be physically or in a relationship. And I have since projected that frustration on my partner, which has put me in an unhappy situation. Because I don't know what I want, I'm blaming them, and it creates tension. And this is where I love my one-on-ones. I love the one-on-ones, because we get a chance to really uncover what it is that you're missing and why you feel that way. And not in a clinical psychologist type of way. I actually have a sexologist that we work with, and someone who I can refer anyone with any type of trauma. This is a discussion on what is it that you want, and if you don't know, ways to explore it. I do not, one of the areas, this is important to highlight, is if for women that have any type of sexual trauma or any type of issues where they have been abused or any type of sexual violence, I immediately refer them to someone. This is not that type. We are a retail business, a boudoir photo shoot and shop, and we're really focused on making sure women have a pleasurable end-to-end experience. But there is a large number of women who have unfortunately experienced horrific things in life.
Right.
And for that, we refer them out. For the discussion that we're having, it really is focused on how do you love yourself? How do you explore pleasure? How do you feel good about yourself? And how do you focus on you? Another piece to this is oftentimes women will bring in a conversation, if I say, Anne, what is it that you like? They immediately tell me what they like to do for other people or what their partners like. And I have to redirect. I'm like, so that's great. Thank you for sharing. But let's go back. What do you like? And it opens up, I would say almost everyone I've ever had this conversation with, they will say, I don't know. I spend all of my time thinking about what someone else is looking for, or how do I help and please someone else. And this space and this boutique is designed for you to step away from all of that and to really focus on what is it that you want? What do you like?
So tell me, so this, obviously we're an LGBT, I would be remiss if I didn't ask this.
Welcome it, yes.
So tell me what similarities, differences you've seen if you've had lesbians walking in here. Obviously you get bisexual women walking in here, as you mentioned, or maybe trans women walking in here. So tell me about those experiences.
Yes, so our clientele, whether you, regardless of sexual orientation or if you're a trans woman, we focus on female pleasure. Mm-hmm. And I would say the thread that links all of us is there are insecurities across the board. Mm-hmm. And this extends beyond whether I am straight, a lesbian, bisexual, it does not matter. We all have those insecurities. Mm-hmm. And we all are learning our pleasure. I will say, for my lesbian clientele that I do have, they are probably the most advanced on the sexuality spectrum, but they still have the insecurities.
Sure.
Still the communication gaps are there, and it may be, and especially for women, we project what I like on my partner. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I see whenever I have these discussions is this may be, I can tell you what I like as me, as this woman, but it doesn't mean that's what you like.
Right.
And oftentimes that would probably be the disconnect that I see, is that the projection of this is what I like, so you should like this too, and that is not the case. Every single woman that walks through the store is different.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty, that's our power. Mm-hmm. Our power is the diversity, our power is our uniqueness. I would say for and if you walk through our boutique, we are very inclusive and we have vintage artwork hanging up everywhere.
You do.
Yes.
I love the artwork. Everyone in South Florida, anyone listening to this should come in here and look at the pictures on these walls.
Yes, and the artwork piece is key because we've taken art from the 20s and 30s. Mm-hmm. And in that, we have artwork of women in boudoir photos. We have lesbian couples in there because this is also not new. Mm-hmm. I realize that it was probably very taboo. I know it was during that time. But a woman's sexuality and a woman's interest in other women has been around since the millennium. Yeah. Like this is not new, and we wanted to make sure we represented the full spectrum of women and their sexuality. Realizing the target audience, I would also say I have a lot of women who are very open in this safe space of talking about how they have been in same-sex partner relationships. Mm-hmm. They may now be married to someone of an opposite sex, but they've experimented or they have tried and they've been in actual full-blown partnership, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. They were in marriages and now they have they're in a lesbian couple. Mm-hmm. And this for me is wonderful for them, but the end goal is still the same. What do you like? Mm-hmm. Where is your pleasure? What are you looking for? And so that's key for this in this piece.
Yeah. I mean, in relation to other people, we can put all the labels we want. But at the end of the day, when you're just by yourself, you're just a person.
You're just a person. That's it. You're a person that needs communication. Mm-hmm. You're a person that needs to know how to communicate. You're a person that needs to know what you like.
Yeah.
And that crosses all boundaries. It really does.
That's a perfect way to end that. Thank you.
You're welcome.